In this video, we're going to be talking about my new beautiful keyboard. So first off, choosing the case, I went with the Tofu 60% in E white. On the PCB, I ended up going with the 1UP RGB 60% PCB from 1UP Keyboards. It is a hot swap PCB. On top of that, we have an aluminum plate. I like the pitch that the aluminum plate gives off with the switches that I ended up choosing. I almost did brass, but I just liked how the aluminum sounded just a little bit better. Up next for switches, I bobbled between a couple different switches, but I ended up going with the Alpaca V2 switches with a 62 gram weight golded spring, a palm stem, PC top, nylon bottom housing. These switches feel absolutely amazing. One of the best linears I've ever tried. And another factor that also came into play with these switches is the color. I guess my only small gripe is that they can make the housings white and it'd match even better. So it was actually super tough choosing my switches. First I tried out Novelty creams, and then up next I tried Duroc Palm linears. The creams after broken in were actually a very nice switch to use, but a little scratchy. The Palm linears come in a close second. I almost ended going up with these because these are super smooth, but maybe for another keyboard build. I actually made a crazy Frankenstein switch with a cream housing and a Palm linear stem. I might use these, but I needed more of them, so I couldn't use them in this build. This Frankenstein switch was insanely smooth, but unfortunately I didn't have enough linears to make a full set of 70s, so that is a massive L. And for the Astrology keycaps, it took me so long searching for the right set of keycaps, but this just fit the vibe of my room so well. I love astronomy and the colors are so vibrant, but enough of that, let me shut up. Let's get into a sound test. So it took a lot of testing for me to find this board and get it to where I really liked it. Previously, before this Tofu and aluminum, I was using this Tofu, which utilizes an acrylic case. And even with case foam and an aluminum plate, this has silk yellows, but I also put the alpacas in this case. And this case just gives off a little bit higher of a pitch. It doesn't give that deep thought that I was looking for. I still love this board. This is kind of my test board that I test switches, stabilizers, stuff like that on. Super unique, but it just doesn't carry the weight or carry the sound that this board can carry. And a couple of things that I took care of on this recently that really pushed this keyboard to the next level for me is I holy modded the spacebar. If you don't know what holy modding is, theoretically it's to keep the wire from banging around on the plastic inside and stop the rattling. Other than that, everything's been lubed with Krytox 205 grade 0. I use Krytox 205 grade 0 on the actual wire as well versus dielectric grease. I just like how smooth it is compared to dielectric grease makes it feel a little saggy and laggy in my opinion. I also have Band-Aid modded underneath the stabilizer so when it bottoms out it's not that harsh crisp snap. It's nice and soft. This board ran me about $350 to $400. This is nowhere near as expensive as keyboards gets. This is my most expensive keyboard, but there's keyboards upwards of $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. But so far, I am super happy with this board. The color concept matches everything in my room. The keycaps are absolutely amazing. I've had no quality control issues, no problems with this keyboard whatsoever. There is no RGB on it, which everything in my room is RGB, but I kind of like how subtle it is. It's more of like a sleeper build. There's no crazy RGB. The keycaps, the case, everything really just speaks for itself. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Make sure to smash that like button and hit that subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you guys on the next video.